despite all of this and the clear narrative that US wants to restrict access to technology to China, we still have Jensen Huang actually wanting to sell into China more long term. Beth, is that a fool's dream?
Yeah, I think there are two sides to this. From NVIDIA's perspective, they don't want to lose that revenue. This is a massive country. But what the United States government is really communicating is that the technology has too far-reaching implications for this to really be about like the next consumer app, the next enterprise app. This is really a matter of national security. From an investor standpoint, I love that demand signal. I love the signal that the United States government is doing everything they can to control this technology. I don't have demand concerns. I think this is bullish, regardless of if Nvidia sells into China or not.
What about supply concerns, therefore, and whether or not we're able to bring the manufacturing and the expertise into the United States so that we're not so dependent to be able to make such sophisticated technology abroad?
Yeah, I think a lot of this is hitting the news wires now and has been over, let's just say, the last 6 months. But the United States has been preparing for this for years. We know that because Taiwan Semiconductor has built this fab in Arizona. This is not an overnight project. It's been going on for years as someone who's tracked AI for many, many years. Therefore, I think we are more prepared than what might be assumed right now to onshore and to keep those supply chains fairly domestic.
Beth, we saw shares in Malaysia and Thailand drop overnight in those respective fields, data center, chips. But many of the sell-side notes point out that actually those most exposed to this potential initiative are American companies. Which American companies do you worry about?
I will be quite bold and tell you I'm not too worried about this. I think if there was ever a technology that has this outsized demand, and it goes back to, is it going to be 500 billion? Is it going to be 700 billion in AI chip sales by the time we end this decade? Maybe even higher. And I have very little concern over what the China impact would be specifically on this technology. It is not a consumer technology. Consumer technologies, your Tesla, your Apple, they badly need China's population. This is not a consumer technology. It's primarily enterprise. And then, of course, you have sovereign AI at the government level. We really do not need China the way we did on the consumer side with those other technologies.
Beth, you mentioned one demand signal. I follow you on social. Which other hard and soft data sets are you tracking right now to give you your demand signals that inform your thesis?
What we probably track most closely is really those generation of GPUs, that product roadmap by Nvidia. And then, of course, within that supply chain, there are many partners that will give you early signals. What I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is we will close this year with Nvidia on top again, zero demand issues again. 2023 and 2024 combined is what we have for H2 of 2025. That is a very big statement, and it's so far, so good. Green light.
Green light, Nvidia, stay with it, Beth. It's interesting that maybe we think about an Oracle and its exposure to trying to build out its cloud offering over in Malaysia, for example, and maybe that has to be thought through a little bit more and politically negotiated if there are limitations to access to the GPUs that it needs over there. Who are the other names that you do like, that you, is it all just about Nvidia as a one-stop shop, or can you broaden it out?
I'm still loving hardware quite a bit. When we look at Nvidia, there are companies sandwiched between that custom silicon, which is going to see a resurgence off inference. And one stock that's in between Nvidia and something like Amazon's Trainium is Astera Labs.